I'm a 24-year-old female, and I usually don't go out late at night. But that night, I didn't really have a choice. I had just gotten off a late shift, and my fridge was completely empty. So I stopped at a grocery store on the way home. It was almost 11:30 p.m. The parking lot was quiet, too quiet. There were maybe 3 cars total. I remember sitting in my car for a second, just staring at the entrance, feeling that weird hesitation you get sometimes, for no reason. I almost left, but I didn't. The store itself was nearly empty. A cashier, someone stocking shelves in the back, and one other person, a man, standing near the end of an aisle. I didn't think much of it at first. I grabbed a basket and started walking through the store, just picking up a few things. Milk, frozen food, something quick. But after a minute or two, I noticed him again. Different aisle, just standing there. I told myself I was overthinking it. But then it happened again. I turned into another aisle, and he was already there. Not shopping, not moving, just looking at me. I remember feeling this drop in my stomach, like something wasn't right. So I grabbed the last thing I needed and walked straight to the checkout. I didn't look back. I didn't want to. The cashier didn't say much. Neither did I. I could feel it though, that feeling like someone was behind you, watching. As soon as I paid, I walked out of the store, faster than I meant to. The cold air hit me, and I finally breathed a little. I told myself, "You're fine. You're just being paranoid." I got in my car, locked the doors immediately, and just sat there for a second. Silence. No one around. I actually laughed a little, like I was calming myself down. Then I saw him, walking out of the store. My chest tightened instantly. He didn't look at his phone, didn't look around. He was looking straight at me. I quickly started my car and pulled out of the parking lot. I didn't even think. I just wanted to get home. At first, everything felt normal. Empty roads, streetlights. But then I checked my rearview mirror. Headlights. Same car. I made a turn. So did he. I told myself, it's just coincidence. I made another turn. So did he. That's when I felt it. That cold, sinking feeling. I started driving faster. Not speeding, but enough to create distance. But it didn't matter. He stayed right behind me. Every turn I made, he made. By the time I got to my street, my hands were shaking. I didn't even know if I should go home anymore. But I didn't know where else to go. I pulled into my driveway, and for a second, I just sat there, hoping, praying he would just drive past. He didn't. He slowed down, turned in, and pulled up right behind my car. I didn't even think. I grabbed my keys and ran. I unlocked my door, rushed inside, and slammed it shut behind me. Locked it. Deadbolt. Everything. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear anything else. Then I looked through the window. It was him, sitting in his car, right outside my house. That's when I grabbed my phone and called 911. My voice was shaking so bad I could barely get the words out. I told them everything. The store, the car, that he was outside my house. They told me to stay on the line, said officers were on the way. And then I heard it. A car door slam. My stomach dropped. Footsteps. Fast. Coming toward the house. Then, bang! He hit the front door so hard it shook the entire house. I screamed. Another hit. The door started cracking. I ran straight to the bathroom, locked the door. I could hear him inside now, walking through my house. Slow, heavy footsteps. I held my hand over my mouth, trying not to make a sound. Tears just running down my face. Then the footsteps stopped. Right outside the bathroom door. Silence. And then the handle started moving, slowly. I backed up into the corner, holding my phone like it could somehow protect me. Then, bang! He slammed into the door. Again, the wood started splintering. He didn't say a word. Not once. Just kept hitting the door. Harder and harder. I thought this was it. Then suddenly, shouting, "Police! Get on the ground!" The noise stopped instantly. I heard a struggle, things crashing, yelling, and then silence. A knock on the bathroom door. "It's okay. You're safe. Police." I couldn't even move at first. My body just wouldn't respond. When I finally opened the door, my hands were still shaking. They had him on the ground, handcuffed. And I'll never forget this part. As they were taking him out, he looked at me and smiled, like he knew something I didn't. I moved out 2 weeks later, and I've never gone grocery shopping alone at night again. I'm a single mum. It's just me and my 2 kids. Liam, who just turned 6, and my daughter Ava, who's 4. That day felt normal, completely normal. It was a Saturday afternoon, and they had been inside all morning, restless, running around, arguing over toys. So I decided to take them to the park down the street. Just a quick walk. Let them burn some energy. The neighborhood is quiet. It's the kind of place where you feel safe letting your kids play outside. Or at least, I thought it was. We walked together down the sidewalk. Liam riding his little scooter ahead of us. Ava holding my hand, talking about something I wasn't really paying attention to. Just one of those normal moments you don't think twice about. I remember seeing him for the first time, but not really seeing him. He was just walking, same direction as us, across the street. I didn't think anything of it. People walk through the neighborhood all the time. Every now and then, I'd glance up, and he'd still be there. Same pace, same distance, but it didn't feel threatening, just there. We got to the park about 5 minutes later. It wasn't crowded, a few kids, a couple parents sitting on benches. Everything felt normal. Liam ran straight to the playground. Ava followed behind him, laughing. I sat down on a bench, just watching them. That's all I ever do, just sit and watch. Make sure they're okay. And then I noticed him again. He was standing near the edge of the park, not sitting, not on his phone, just watching. At first, I assumed he was there with someone. Maybe his kid was playing somewhere. But after a few minutes, I realized something. No one was going up to him. No kid was running over. No one was calling his name. He wasn't talking to anyone. He was just standing there, watching the playground, watching the kids. That's when I felt it, that small shift in my chest. I look back at Liam and Ava, still playing, still laughing. Then I look back at him, and this time, he was looking directly at them, not scanning the park, not looking around, locked in on my kids. I remember telling myself, don't overreact. Because as a parent, you never want to be that person who assumes the worst. But I couldn't ignore it anymore. So I stood up, walked a little closer to where they were playing, stayed near them. I kept my eyes on him, and every time I looked over, he hadn't moved, just watching. Minutes passed, but it felt longer. I called out to Liam, "Hey, stay where I can see you." He nodded, distracted, already climbing something. Ava came over and grabbed my hand for a second. I remember brushing her hair back and smiling at her, trying to act normal, but I wasn't. I kept checking, over and over again. And then, for just a moment, I looked away. It couldn't have been more than a few seconds. Ava had asked me something. I looked down at her, answered her, and when I looked back up, Liam was gone. At first, I didn't panic. I thought maybe he ran to the other side of the playground, maybe behind the slide. Liam? I called out. No answer. I stood up, walked faster, scanning everything. Liam? Nothing. That's when the panic hit. I grabbed Ava's hand and started moving through the playground, checking everywhere, behind structures, around the benches. Nothing. Then I looked up. The man was gone too. My heart dropped in a way I can't even explain. I started screaming his name, running, asking people if they'd seen him. No one had. Someone called the police. I don't even remember who. Everything after that felt like a blur. Officers showed up. They searched the area, asked questions I could barely answer. How long was he gone? What did the man look like? Which direction did he go? I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I just knew. My son was gone. They searched for hours, then days, then weeks. They never found him. No witnesses, no cameras, nothing. It's been 3 years. Ava is older now. She still asks about her brother sometimes, and I don't know what to say. There's a part of me that still expects to see him, running through the house, laughing, asking me for something. But I know I won't, and the hardest part is knowing I'll never see who he would have become. I'll never hear his voice change, never see him grow up. And every time I close my eyes, I replay that moment, the one where I looked away, just for a few seconds, because that's all it took. I work late a lot, so being out at night never really bothered me. At least, not until this happened. It was a little after midnight when I got off. The parking lot was mostly empty, just a few cars scattered around under those dim streetlights. I remember unlocking my car and getting in without really thinking about it. Just routine. Same as always. I tossed my bag in the passenger seat, shut the door, and locked it. And for a second, I just sat there. I don't know why. It felt like I had walked into a room and forgot what I was about to do. Something felt off. I brushed it off. Started the car. Everything looked normal. But then I noticed something small. My rearview mirror was slightly tilted, not by much, just enough that it caught my attention. I adjusted it back into place and kind of laughed to myself. You probably bumped it getting in. Then I started driving. The roads were empty, quiet. Streetlights passing over the windshield, one after another. But that feeling didn't go away. It got worse. Like I wasn't alone. I kept checking my mirrors. Left, right, rear view. Nothing. No cars close behind me. No one walking. Still, I couldn't shake it. Then I noticed something else. My seat felt slightly off, like it had been pushed back just a little farther than I usually keep it. I'm not tall, so I always sit pretty close to the wheel. But now, I felt like I was reaching a bit. Again, I tried to explain it away. Maybe you moved it earlier, but I hadn't. I knew I hadn't. My grip on the wheel tightened. I checked the rearview mirror again. Nothing. Just darkness. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was just tired. But then, I heard it. A sound. So quiet I almost didn't catch it. Like fabric shifting. Right behind me. I froze. Every muscle in my body locked up. I stared straight ahead. Didn't move. Didn't breathe. And for a few seconds, there was nothing. Silence. Then, a slow, deep inhale. Right behind me. Not from outside the car. Inside. I felt my chest tighten so hard it hurt. I wanted to turn around. I needed to. But I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might see. My hands started shaking on the steering wheel. And then, very slowly, I looked at the rearview mirror. At first, I didn't see anything, just darkness. But then, as my eyes adjusted, I noticed something. Not a face, not clearly, just a shape, too low to be in the seat, too still to be nothing. My heart started pounding so loud I could hear it, and then it moved, just slightly, enough for me to know. Someone was there, in my back seat. I slammed on the brakes. The car jerked to a stop in the middle of the road. I threw the door open and ran. I didn't even look back. I just ran. I could hear my own footsteps echoing in the silence, my breathing loud, uncontrolled. I didn't stop until I saw lights, a gas station up ahead. I ran inside, shaking, barely able to speak. The clerk looked at me like I was crazy. I told him everything. He grabbed something from behind the counter and came outside with me. We both looked at my car, doors still open, engine still running. Nothing moved. He walked up to it slowly, looked inside, checked the back seat, then looked back at me. There's no one in there. I didn't believe him. I walked closer, slowly, looked inside myself. The back seat was empty, completely empty. No one there, nothing out of place. It didn't make sense. I know what I heard. I know what I felt. And I know I wasn't alone in that car. I had it towed the next day. I told myself I was done with it, that I didn't want to drive it again. But a few days later, I had to go back to it, just to grab something I left inside. It was parked exactly where they left it. I walked up to it slowly, already feeling that same uneasiness creeping back in. I opened the driver's door, and that's when I saw it. The rearview mirror tilted downward again, like someone had adjusted it to look directly at the back seat.